that this should be happening because something's wrong here, when you actually don't have the knowledge that anything's wrong at all.
I just think that my opinion is that she should be set down and questioned.
But you're not sure if she hasn't.
Yeah, and you're not sure if she has been either. So, like I said, I feel like now you're just kind of filling the air with nonsense. Because during points like, we want to make sure that you go in there and you defend Erica, and I have to say, I don't think you've done an extraordinary job at that.
But I'm not here to defend Erica. The thing is, though, is like...
that since 4 out of 5 of the clips that you had on the ready when we asked you guys ahead of time, I want to just assert how professionally we have dealt with this debate. As you can see, we have not planned any gotcha clips for Andrew. I expressed to him what we were going to do was just use people for fact checks, and because I might not remember something, or I do remember something and you're saying no, and that is what I think will register to people as very fair. We did not take out of context clips of Andrew to try to
explicitly said
please don't cut me off. We did not. No, when you said you were going to bring claims that you want me to speak.
Bonjour, moi c'est Léopold. Aujourd'hui, je vous fais visiter le 30 mètres carrés à étage. Ça vous permet d'avoir 20 mètres carrés d'ancrage au sol.
Clips to which we said to you before in an email. Any clips you want to share with us, send it over. Let's assert a debate claim so that we can both be ready to respond to it. That's
not really what happened.
Well, what didn't happen?
The way that you're framing the exchange, that's not actually what happened. We were negotiating. It is true we negotiated out the claim itself, right? Which one's going to take which position. I wanted to make sure that I had at least an hour and a half on mine, and you got the time for yours to question me. We did. We got through your hour and a half on mine, roughly an hour and a half now on mine. That's basically how this went.
But in the beginning, I did not take an hour and a half, just pull out of context clips with Andrew. I actually debated the substance, what's going on in this trial, in this hearing. And I do think that you fell short of that.
There's nothing out of, hang on.
And
there's
I
nothing
did not
here
say,
except
I'm
holding
just
you
going to
account
get
for
you
your
to say
claims.
yes or no. Oh, hold on. We were supposed to be debating the case and whether or not there was overwhelming evidence.
These are your claims about the case.
No, you then admitted that now you're getting into another sphere and you want to talk about the transcendentals and things that I've said.
Got through.
And like 4 out of 5 of your clips are about Erica Kirk. So the general perception
I don't think 4 out of 5 even
is
were.
your turning points course. Quite a few of them were. Were there 3
just made
Erica
it up?
or 4?
So you're just making stuff
Can
up?
we get a count of how many were about Erica? I feel like
it was 3.
3. Okay,
yeah,
3. I said 4.
But those are extraordinary claims, which is why you're asked about them. Right?
Okay, but the point being is now you're veering into trying to get me to defend my opinions, and then you completely shirk responsibility when I point out yours. No, they're not claims. When you tweet
claims.
Erica is too retarded, you go, that's just whatever, and then you move on.
That's a claim. That I'm responsible for the claim.
Well, earlier when I brought it up, you said that it was tongue-in-cheek.
Yes, sure. That's me responding to your criticism of the claim. That's all I'm doing here.
I was interested, and
I'm happy to get into also the Patsy stuff now, if you would like to.
Well,
Your team has one more clip.
The one more. Okay, sorry. They had 2.
We were getting into the Patsy stuff, and you stopped it, and I was explaining to you. Oh, they have one more clip. Okay, let's go.
They want to hit the minimum of 4 clips you were saying, Erica. So
100%.
It's absurd.
Okay. And this is the one you were saying from 7 days ago. Okay, while they're looking for that, you want to continue?
Yeah, I mean, can I ask a question? I know it's been, or like, can I ask a question, or are we?
Not really. I'm just gonna hold to the actual contract itself.
The contract does not say that you are allowed to just question me without me being able to respond to you.
I've never said you can't
or have
respond.
A conversation.
You've been able to respond to every question I've asked you. And by the way, the other thing is like...
Put it your way. I want it to look like you've done everything Andrew wanted to so that people can fairly assess the situation. So you have it your way. I will not ask a question.
Totally fair with me.
So are you good with her asking a question? Or no?
He said no.
Waiting for the clip.
Okay. So you want to wait for the clip first? Okay. You guys have it in the back? Okay, beautiful.
The Jeopardy
team told me they had it, so
that's what I heard. Okay, there we go.
Come on, guys.
Did this crime, okay? Because Lance Twiggs has his DNA on the towel. Lance Twiggs has his DNA on the rifle. And to clear, Lance Twiggs' DNA was not as degraded as Ty Robinson's DNA was on Tyler's rifle. It's Tyler's rifle.
Oh, you
but
also
Lance's
said, yeah, it's not as degraded on the rifle.
Yeah, because I thought he was one of the things, but I've already got, like, that's what I mean when I say that, like, it just seems like you're not actually here trying to engage, because even before you got to this, and I knew that you had some secret clip plans, I said to you, when I rewatched the testimony, I realized that they didn't explicitly say Lance Twiggs, they said 5 other profiles were on it, and that his was the most degraded. So I hope your team feels fulfilled in playing that. Is there any more? I'm happy to play every clip that he has on the ready. Anybody?
You said you had some new evidence at the beginning of the.
Oh yeah, we should show the text message that you read, because I think that's important for the public. You shared it out of context.
I'll do it on my show. I'll share the text.
So you're going to read it on my show, but not show it?
Correct.
Okay.
So I'll show it on my show, but that's what I'll do. I'll show it on my.
Can I ask why?
Well, because I want to drip out the evidence. You know, that's got to drip out that evidence, keep people coming back for the show, right?
I don't know if snark serves you so well.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, I'll release it there. Yeah, that's my intention. But yeah, I'm fine with closings if you want to do closings.
Well, I also would, if I may ask a question, is that all permitted?
Go ahead.
Just so I also have clarity, since your basis has been evidentiary, you keep saying that you have evidence, or like you are following evidence. Which one of the charges against, or all of them, do you think Tyler Robinson is guilty of?
The specific charge?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I think is that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, but of the 7 charges that he's being charged.
Yeah, can we list them real quick? I'll tell you exactly which ones. We'll pull
Are
them
you
up.
sure about
Do
that?
you know any of the charges he's up for right now?
Yeah, of course. But I
Can
want to
you
make sure
name
that
one?
we have them listed.
Yeah, but like can you name one? Because my general perspective is that you don't actually care about the case. You're not following
Is that
the
it?
case.
That's the
Yeah.
question? You're
Yeah,
just not following it enough?
It seems pretty, like, if you're going to engage and you're going to say the evidence is overwhelming that Tyler Robinson is guilty, I just think that you should.
All right.
Can you tell me one
Then let's do the
charge
counter.
that he's...
You can really, hang on, this is a great
No,
gotcha.
no, you just got to ask me, play
Yeah.
clips out of context,
Yeah,
put me in the hot seat, so please just answer the
This
question.
is fair.
Can
Name
you
all
name,
7 since you've been following the case.
Okay, sure.
Go ahead.
You name one.
Yeah, you named all 7.
I'm happy to do that, but can you name one?
I think he's been charged with murder.
That's actually incorrect.
Okay, great. Now name all 7.
He doesn't even, this is like...
Name all 7.
And
Can you name all 7?
I can't.
Then do it.
Sure, you don't have to
Do
put
it. No, do it. I'll count them. Go ahead.
You don't
Name
have to
'em.
put your fingers up. I can
Okay,
do
hang on.
that.
Name them.
Yeah, sure.
Name them.
The first charge is aggravated murder, because that's what carries a
Okay.
death sentence.
So
in the
murder.
state of No,
Next.
that's not. That is literally not murder.
Okay.
And so
Next.
just for people, no, I don't have to do it in a time limit. There's nothing going on. And just to explain to people the difference of why it really matters and shows that he doesn't actually care about this at all, is because aggravated murder, it's narrowly defined,
Just
and because
avoiding
it
the
carries
question.
a death sentence. I'm going to answer the question.
Okay,
You're just
waiting.
going to recognize that your strategy of thinking that people are intimidated when you try to put a time constraint doesn't work, and you'll be better the next time you debate
I got
someone.
it. I got it. Give me the other ones.
The more you cut me off, the longer I'll take. Do you want to just wait for me to finish of why that's a big difference, so that
No, I
people
just
don't walk
want
away?
you to list the charges.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. You just don't get to pretend that there's a time constraint for me to do that.
Well, how long does it take you to list 7 charges?
I'm speaking. You just got to.
It sounds like you're just delaying it because you don't know.
I know all 7 of them, and I'm
Tell
gonna
me
say
them.
again, because you're gonna get embarrassed. Like, you don't have to rush this. I'm also showing an example of a very flawed debate strategy. I
Okay,
actually
well, I
am under
got
no
one.
time constraint.
I got one.
Wait. The second charge is the felony discharge of a weapon. The next 2 charges are for obstruction of justice.
Okay.
The next 2 charges are for witness tampering. And the
What's
final,
the specific charges, though?
that is them. Obstruction of justice,
Both of
obstruction
those?
of justice, witness tampering.
Okay, and there's no other specifics to them.
Well, I can tell you why he's being
No,
charged.
no, no,
with it.
just the charges, and then 7.
Yeah, see, the bad thing is when you try to be an a-hole and it doesn't work.
What's the 7th?
The last charge is violence in front of a minor.
Okay, got it. So then he's being charged with murder. You just say aggravated murder. That's the distinction. You just want to.
It's a massive. It's
Got
like
it.
you cannot
Massive.
say murder versus aggravated
Massive
murder.
distinction.
This gets to the entire crux of why him being up for the death sentence, and I actually find the defense's filing about why this is not aggravated to be very compelling of why it's not aggravated murder. I actually think that the state's going to even try to pull this off. They should have charged just murder. And then I do also, again, want to stress to audiences that debate strategy of thinking that you have to speak faster or somebody put your hand up and they try to pretend like it's some sport. I think it's a blood sport. It's not. It's about being right and being principled when you're engaging. And you can make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time, but at least be genuine and pretending that you care about this case enough to know one of the 7 charges that are up against Tyler Robinson when you say the evidence is overwhelming that he's guilty. If you would like to move to final statements, I'm fine. I want to make sure Andrew has had the time that he has requested.
I think your team would like to pull up the 7 charges that he just asked you about. If
Sure.
you guys want to pull that up just to confirm the 7 you went through. Can you guys zoom in a little bit?
Aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, obstruction of justice, which is counts 3 and 4, 5 and 6, tampering with a witness, and count 7,
violent
offense in the presence of a
In front
minor.
of a child.
Yeah.
That's
So
what I said.
5, 6, tampering witness, 3rd-degree felony. Now, I did notice something I just was curious about. If I'm just wondering. When you pull out your phone just before you ask that question, did somebody by chance text you that question?
You can check my phone.
I'm just curious.
No, you can absolutely not. I have not had one communication
Okay.
with a single person, not even my producers who are in there this whole time we were here. You want to check my phone? I'm happy to do it because you're just going to get double embarrassed. Where's my phone?
You
should
want to
do
see?
it.
I'm just
Okay?
curious. Yeah.
You can literally do that. Here you go. VD, you're the moderator.
Okay.
Take it.
Let's see
See
it.
if anyone was texted at all during this debate
All right.
about the violent charges or anything.
I'm looking through this. You give me permission.
You
so I
have
can-
full
I'm not
permission to
gonna
go
give
through my
names.
phone. I don't need to
So
cheat.
the last one has nothing to do with it. It's just a compliment.
I haven't read my text messages,
That's a
so
compliment.
he's reading them.
You're okay. You'll give me permission.
Yes.
I'm just going to read 3
Yes.
to 11:32 because after that I don't need to read it.
Any other texts? Could have been Telegram. Could have been something.
All I
like
have
that.
Signal. You can check that too. I only have Signal. Telegram I used in Russia, and that was it. I downloaded
I'll
it for
take word for it.
Yeah,
Then-
I don't need to I
Okay.
deeply care about this case. I don't need to
I
pretend
get
to
it.
know
You
stuff
deeply
that I
care
don't
about
know.
the case.
Yeah.
I just, I have. My other question is about steakhouse receipt.
You just said you were done asking all your
So
questions.
you know,
Yeah.
nothing there.
Yeah. Do you have the
that.
steakhouse receipts? My question.
I have said several times that I have never said I have the receipt for the steakhouse. I have said the person who's working on that story is going to be forthcoming with the receipt, and that was what I was responding to. And he then dropped the receipt, he redacted elements of it, and I said, "Stay tuned. He's the one working on that story."
Okay. So
I
you
never-
haven't actually confirmed that Robin was at that steakhouse.
All I did, as I said earlier in the conversation, was I spoke to the owner when I broke that story. I think it was back in January. I spoke to the owner, understood what had happened, and that there was a receipt. That's it. That's the extent of what I shared is what happened.
Okay. So to be clear, there's no receipt. You
No,
don't-
I just did the opposite. I said there is
Well,
a
you
receipt.
don't have a copy of the receipt.
The receipt was published online.
Yeah. Right. With blurred
The
out.
person working on a story
Yeah.
that blurred that out is what I was referring to when I said stay tuned and keep following stuff because he went to go do what I hadn't done, which was he interviewed the actual server.
So there's no evidence that Tyler was at the steakhouse.
I would say the receipt, if with his debit card number, it would be some hard evidence. If that
I
is-
agree with that,
Yeah,
but-
so that's it. But you're questioning me.
But is there, as of right
He
now?
paid. If you're asking me, did he pay with the credit or debit card? The answer is yes.
No. Is there proof that that was actually his debit card that he paid with?
I think you should follow the person that is behind the story.
Well,
He's
the
more
reason I'm
something
asking you is because you always include in your timeline that he traveled to the steakhouse.
Yeah, we've been building a timeline with things that we feel are
But is there any actual
Utah
evidence?
1102 approved. I think speaking
Yeah.
to the owner, knowing that there's a receipt, seeing the receipt is enough to put on our timeline.
But the receipt itself, the question I always had about it is, couldn't you just call the merchant? Like, if I ever had a merchant account, I just call the merchant
Well-
account processor and say, what's the name on this?
Yeah, I would stay tuned. I feel that having spoken to the owner, that the evidence is compelling enough to put onto my personal timeline of what took place on that day. That's where it's gonna say, and if it gets debunked, I'm happy to take it off. If that's what you mean, that's how an investigation works. Like I said, I did more than enough. It would definitely pass the test by the Utah 1102 rule, for sure, for certain.
To be submitted as hearsay.
Well, yeah, beyond that, because they
Yeah,
didn't even
but-
have receipts. They were like, Bob told
But
me
the
this.
question is, the receipt itself It has not been verified to have been Tyler
I
Robinson.
just want to say you're holding me to a higher standard than you are.
I'm not even holding it. I'm just
prosecution.
asking specifically.
Yeah, I've been very forthcoming. I told exactly what happened. I spoke to the owner. I got the tip, and
So should that be added in an official timeline that
it's
you give?
It's in my timeline. It's my show, and we can add and subtract what we want, and we do.
You
we
can
get
do what you
wrong.
want, sure, but
Well,
I'm asking,
sure.
should you include a thing that you know hasn't actually been verified to be Tyler Robinson?
Yes, you should. If we're trying to build a timeline, you should. Yeah.
You don't think that falls under...
And then you should remove it if someone somehow debunks it. But I think that there is very strong evidence that is where he was, and that
What's the strong evidence? Just the two people who said that they saw him?
You know, I'm actually all good with... I feel like I've sufficiently answered your question about how I got the information, what happened next, with the next stage of this investigation being somebody accessing knowing what his debit card was and confirming it, yes, and I do believe that will happen. If it does not happen and it gets debunked, I'll remove it from my personal timeline that I share on my show.
The first officer that was up on the roof, do you remember his name?
Officer Bagley.
Yeah, what was his first name?
Christopher.
When Christopher got up on the roof, you talked a lot about how his camera died.
Well, he talked a lot about that during
about his camera died.
Yeah.
Do you think that he planted that screwdriver up there?
No.
No. Who do you think planted it?
If we're just going, am I allowed to have an opinion?
Of course.
At this stage, I would say that I don't buy his assertion on the stand that he didn't check to see if anybody went onto the rooftop before he got there. I do think that it's possible, it's at least plausible that the screwdriver was planted. I don't believe him. What I can say strongly is that his cam died at just the right time. His body cam died at just the right time. I think that, as you were just grilling me about whether or not I got the merchant receipt for a debit card, that kind of makes it difficult. We just have to trust that screwdriver was found, and we don't have any should-be evidence of a police body cam. But like I said, you accept that stuff and then are like, did you call the merchant and get... Like, it just seems like you...
Well, I'm not adding...
Hold, like I said, you hold the prosecution to a higher standard than you do to people.
I'm not adding unconfirmed evidence to an official timeline that I'm putting out either.
What do you mean an official timeline? This is my timeline. I made it at home.
So then it would be official to your show?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, great. So then your official timeline, Candace Owens' official timeline, includes a steakhouse stop that has not actually been confirmed at all.
Well, yeah, it hasn't even been discussed by the prosecution, so it's not like you're debunking that it happened.
Well, there's no evidence for it. There's no good evidence for it at all. There's no camera there. And the steakhouse receipt itself has never been confirmed to be Tyler Robinson.
I'm assuming this is just like a talking point they gave you and you got to like keep pushing this, or like...
I've been following it very closely on X.
The receipt, you weren't even following the charges of Tyler Robinson, but you really wanted to know. I've been following it very closely on X.
Wait,
I'm calling owners of steakhouses, having a conversation. You're following Congo X.
I literally followed the entire trial, or the preliminary, live. I was live with an attorney. We covered all of it. You think because I have a momentary lapse where I'm like, oh, it's murder? No, it's aggravated murder. Come on.
You didn't know any of the charges.
That's splitting hairs.
No, that's not splitting. It means you didn't follow the preliminary hearing at all.
No, it doesn't mean that at all.
You don't know any of the charges that are against him when this is like getting literally to the crux. Aggravated murder versus murder.
It's
a
ridiculous.
death sentence.
And not only that, let's point this out. One of the major things here is that this is your official timeline.
It's mine.
Yes. Who else could it be? Who else? There would be Candace Owens' timeline.
I just don't know what his issues with my timeline.
What's your issue with that?
Well, so the issue is that the entirety of the evidence revolves around two people who claim that he was there and supposedly a receipt. There's supposedly a receipt where Tyler Robinson paid for his steak and his soft drink. No alcohol, right? No alcohol, right? Know nothing about the case. But anyway, this particular receipt,
That World Cup song was not it. So I opened up Suno to create my own version. I wrote some anthem-style lyrics, then just put the kind of stadium vibe I wanted. And with the new
receipt has only the blurred information on it that would actually give you the information to confirm whose receipt it is. We have today, nobody has confirmed that this was actually Tyler Robinson's receipt, and yet inside of Candace Owens' timeline, which states over and over again, when she says, this is the longest 13 hours
that receipt that was published is real. A debit card and a credit card was used. If for some reason somebody misidentified something down the line, or we find out it's a different Tyler Robinson, I'm happy to remove it from my timeline. But for right now, I think that there's enough under the Utah 1102 rule for me to keep it there. I don't really think we need to keep going into circles about this receipt. It's my timeline.
I don't know why the 1102 rule would apply here for your
because
timeline.
you will constantly cite things that are said in that courtroom that have less evidentiary support than me contacting and speaking with the owner of the restaurant. It's not like I dreamed it, as to use your expression, so it's in my timeline, and I'm going to keep it there if that's
Sure, you can keep whatever
Great.
you want there. I'm
Okay.
just saying that there's no evidence he was ever there.
Okay, thank you.
No hard evidence, anyway. Yeah, I'm fine with closing.
Okay, so the last thing we're gonna do before we go into ad break, right after this will be final thoughts. I'll be asking both of you if anything on your opinion, thoughts changed on the case, and then we'll finish it up from there. So with that being said, a 3.5-minute break, and then we'll come back for final thoughts.
All right.
All right, you guys, if someone followed you everywhere that you went, recorded what you searched, and studied your habits, you'd call the police. When your smartphone does it, we call it